My guy Logan Ryan punched in the clock with us early today. And Logan, you look at this, both sides in desperate need of that dub tonight. According to Sportsline, they have the Cowboys loss. If they do lose tonight, it drops their playoff chances down to 10% to make it and 19% for the Lions. So basically, so much intrigue because both teams need a win.
Yeah, it's got to have its situation, which would say in the NFL, this is when you want to be playing your best football. Dallas sits here and they've literally beat both of the Super Bowl, both teams who were in the Super Bowl last year, being the Eagles and the Chiefs in 1 week. That's got to feel good for your confidence. Detroit, like you mentioned, has been up and down for the last 8 games. But regardless, both these teams need to win this game. They really can't afford the loss. You see kind of the spike there, almost 50%. If they win this game, and then down below 10% if they lose. So this is essentially a playoff game, and both coaching staff, both quarterbacks, both these guys that have experience in this game are going to be treating this game like that. It's honest. It's a pleasure to have on a Thursday night.
Yeah, Logan, what's the mindset in the locker room like right now when you're on a team and you're in contention, but you need wins, but you see the calendar hit December, so you know that time is ticking. Like when you're in that locker room, do things feel different right now than it might have felt a few months ago?
Definitely a lot more serious. I mean, this is essentially your playoffs. Your coach is saying, hey, our playoffs start now. We need to take it 1 week at a time. They'll never look past the next game. You just can't take them for granted in the NFL. It's too hard to win week to week. But if you don't take care of business in the beginning of the season, if you are up and down like the Lions have been, this is a situation you put yourself in. You see, you got the Rams coming down the road. You end with the Bears, right? So you got to take it 1 week at a time. And those games are going to be really irrelevant if you don't handle these.
Yeah, you see the Cowboys schedule for what they have after the Lions. You go Vikings on Sunday Night Football, Chargers, then you end up with the Commanders and the Giants. So both teams really in spots where they need to get it done. And you look at the Lions and how they've been up and down. The thing that's on their side right now, other than coming off of a loss, is that they're 7-0 over their last 7 home primetime games. You hear a stat like that. Does that mean much to you when you look at tonight's game?
No, I don't think those stats are relevant at all. I know the Lions are really good at home, because they're a dome team. The way that they play offense, the way that Jared Goff can kind of get in a zone, tough to beat at home. So to me, as much as primetime record, whatnot, that's irrelevant to me. But I look at that 4-1 record at home. A lot of teams are better usually at home than on the road. But the Lions, are extremely good at home because they play indoors. So at the end of the day, to win on the road in the NFL, you got to pack a good defense. And I'm not saying that the Cowboys defense is by any means a great one, but they're much improved than they've been the last, in the beginning of the season. Obviously, post-trade deadline with Quinnen Williams and all their acquisitions, Logan Wilson and whatnot, getting healthier on the back end. So they got to play some decent defense, because if you don't, Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be in the end zone a lot.
Yeah, and that Jahmyr Gibbs portion of this game is the intriguing part of it, because you hear this stat right here. In their 7 wins, the Lions with Gibbs, he's had at least 7.4 yards per carry is his average, and he's had 10 rushing touchdowns. In their 5 losses, he's averaged 3.2 yards per rush and has not scored at all in any of their L's, whether that be on the ground or through the air. So I feel like I can just say plain and simple, if the Lions want to win, Gibbs has to deliver.
Absolutely. Get Sonic the ball. I mean, I love how Jonathan Taylor's playing. I play with Christian McCaffrey, Saquon. I love all those backs. But this guy seems like the most exciting when he touches the ball. I mean, it's the different level of speed. With Tyreek Hill currently out right now with injury, I think Jahmyr Gibbs is the fastest player in the NFL. I mean, when he has the ball, he hits a different speed. And here's the thing, though. Every defense knows this. And with some of the Lions' injuries, Amon-Ra banged up, Laporta not in there, the entire game plan now is to take away number 0. That is what every defense is trying to do. Now, obviously, that's easier said than done, but I'm sure I don't have to be in Dallas's defensive game plan meeting, but I'm sure it stops with, hey, guys, we got to take away Gibbs. If someone else beats us, they beat us. If Jared Goff picks us apart, he picks us apart, but we have to commit the numbers to take away this guy number 0, because he can score in a flash. So how Dan Campbell calls plays knowing that is really going to be key. But I'm sure every defensive coordinator knows that number 0 is the best player on that Lions offense.
So then who do you give the upper hand to in a situation like this where the Lions know, hey, we're at our best when Gibbs is going and he's going well, so we're going to feed him the ball. But the Cowboys know the same exact thing, and they know, hey, if we shut him down, don't let him score, we're probably going to win. How does that play out? Who do you like more knowing those facts?
It's going to be a matter of patience, and that's what it is. Every team has a style that they want to play, and you could take it away early, but do they stay patient with it? Do they still stay committed to Gibbs? Does Dan Campbell, who's an extremely aggressive play caller, obviously one of the most aggressive head coaches in terms of his play style, fourth downs, how he calls the game now, you know he's going to be aggressive. So if Gibbs doesn't have a great first quarter, does Dan Campbell stick with it and show patience? Or does he do his aggressive nature and start calling trick plays and gadget plays and start pulling, the rabbit out of the hat? That's kind of going to be the storyline here, is how patient Dan Campbell can be with sticking with Gibbs, even when it's not going well. We know a lot of top running backs, when they don't really have a great first half, sometimes you look at their carries in the second half like, hey, he only had 3 carries in the second half. What we were doing? Well, they lost their patience. So the question is going to be, how patient can Dan Campbell be? I think knowing the inconsistencies they've kind of been, especially coming off that Thanksgiving loss, I think he'll stay patient. I think they'll stay committed to Gibbs. I'll give the edge to Gibbs in this one.
Yeah, certainly will be a battle to watch. The other battle on the other side, you look at that Cowboys offense and how good CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens have both been as a duo, just absolutely stellar. If I was going to tell you, okay, you can bottle up one of them for the night, put all your eggs into the basket and stop one, just one, who would that be?
Well, first I would tell you there's plenty of game plans where you can double the stars, which is take them both away in critical situations like third down and red zone. There's plenty of times we doubled Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders when we played the Broncos. Now you're going to be light on the tight end, you're going to be light on the other receiver, and the running game's going to be wide open. But there are instances where you can double both the stars in third downs and red zone. If I had to pick one, though, for the sake of this question, I would take away George Pickens. And that's only because it's easier to do that because he only plays one position, meaning he only plays the X receiver. He's normally isolated at the bottom of the screen or the top of the screen, right? They move CeeDee Lamb a lot more. CeeDee Lamb plays a slot. CeeDee Lamb plays a Z receiver. If you don't know what I'm talking about, play some Madden, watch some YouTube about football. But CeeDee Lamb plays multiple positions for them. That's harder to double because you don't know where he's going to be. It's simpler to discourage George Pickens pre-snap and post-snap because he lines up on the same, obviously in the same position every single play, and he's obviously had the better season. So I would take away George Pickens, see if he gets frustrated, see what that does to his personality when he doesn't get the ball early, and kind of live with what CeeDee does, which could be a lot. But I think it's easier just schematically to take away George Pickens because he doesn't move around as much.
Go get your knowledge up, folks. Go play some Madden if you want to.
I don't have time. I don't have that time. My answer is pretty much
I like that. I appreciate that, keeping it real with us right now. And you look at that duo of Lamb and Pickens. They're the only duo in Cowboys history with 80 or more receiving yards per game in a season. So we've broken down the offense, the defensive side of things, Logan, and now the most important question of the morning is who wins Thursday night?
I got the Dallas Cowboys winning this. They're one of the hottest teams in the league, if not the hottest team in the league. I'll put them up with the Patriots for that one. But they just beat the Chiefs. They just beat the Eagles. The Chiefs had to have it. The Eagles obviously wanted to win it. They played really well. The defense is playing better since Quinnen Williams and those acquisitions came. And then honestly, Dak Prescott and the way these receivers are moving around, the way they're playing, I like the consistency that Dallas has been playing with the last few weeks where Detroit's obviously been up and down. So I'm going to go with Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys.
A win for the Cowboys, according to Sportsline, would put it at a 42% chance for Dallas to make the postseason if they can get it done tonight. Logan Ryan, thank you so much. Appreciate it as always. We'll look forward to seeing how it all plays out there on the field tonight. And then, of course, on Sunday, we look forward to these slate of games over on CBS, the highlighted games, that Steelers and Ravens for a game that is very important for their reasons on the AFC side of things. It's a 1 Eastern tip. And then 4:05 window, you get the Broncos and the Raiders. That's on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.